You won't believe the tea we're spilling today. From secret breakups to shocking lies, this is Unreal Tea. Hit subscribe before the drama starts. Welcome, everyone.
This clip, and then I'll
My favorite
get your
thing, the
response.
clips. Let's watch it.
Yes, let's watch.
It's hard.
It's another reason why it's hard for me to let it go.
Great, because I just got 2 ex-wives who were total nags, now nagging still.
I guess the thing is, since he had decided he was already out of the relationship, and since...
Okay. Why are you
'Cause
rewriting
now we're not-
the past?
I'm not rewriting the past.
Yes, you have been,
No,
Kody.
I'm not rewriting the past. I'm being...
The mic was never meant to be on. The cameras were just there for some background shots. But what they recorded in Robyn Brown's Flagstaff house would explode every deception, every manipulation, and every heartbreaking confession she ever delivered to the world. A morning that started with herbal tea and some polite chatter ended with some raw betrayal that left producers, viewers, and even her own kids speechless. This wasn't scripted. This wasn't orchestrated. This was Robyn Brown raw. And it's the video TLC never intended for you to watch, until now. The surprise footage of Robyn Brown's living room was never intended to be heard. Just a peaceful morning shoot, all too common of TLC's behind-the-scenes B-roll, catching the loyal fourth wife sipping tea on her leather sectional. But that morning, a mic remained hot. And what poured from Robyn's mouth wasn't just catty gossip, it was incriminating. She ridiculed Janelle's financial woes. She scoffed at Kody's emotional sham. And worst of all, she wished her sister wives would simply vanish. God bless their hearts. She disparagingly sneered, venom dripping from her words. But they can't manage their own children, relationships, or finances. The crew froze. The producer's eyes widened. There was no way to walk this back. Robyn had been exposed not just as a flawed wife, but a manipulator playing the long game. The video, when it reached TLC headquarters, sent shockwaves. Do they bury it? Or risk airing it and blowing up their most infamous cast member's persona? They didn't need to make a choice. A junior editor leaked it to a tabloid blog. The morning after, the internet went wild. Number Robyn exposed. Number Sister Wives scandal. Reddit forums, TikTok comments, and YouTube analyses clogged the web. Within darkness, the harm was done. Janelle watched the clip sent to her by her son Logan. Her hands shook. She sat for 10 minutes, mute, gazing blankly in front of her. Meri was at a business retreat in Utah when she viewed it. At first, she laughed, incredulous. Then, she wept. That evening, she posted an ambiguous Instagram, quote, "A wolf in sheep's clothing is still a wolf, even if she cries." The public was outraged, TLC panicked, and Kody? He denounced the clip. "You're distorting things," he said to producers, but in private, he fumed. Robyn had embarrassed him beyond all dignity. Even at home, tension hung in the air. He went into the spare room. The children fell silent. Dayton and Aurora, once Robyn's strongest defenders, were appalled. "Mom, why did you say that?" Aurora asked. Dayton, typically taciturn, said to TLC, "The truth about my mother is finally out. She's not who she pretends to be." And then another leak. An unreleased Season 18 confessional. Robyn's voice. "I wish Christine would stop breaking things. I wish Meri would just release. I wish Janelle would finally acknowledge she doesn't belong." It wasn't passive aggression anymore. It was poison. The charade ended. Fans were furious. The victim disguise slipped, showing someone calculated, cold, and brutally mean. TLC, under tremendous pressure, took a drastic step. They gave a public statement affirming that the leaks were not fake and launched a 3-part special. Unscripted, The Truth Behind Sister Wives. Robyn said no. Kody weighed it. Meri and Janelle said yes. And Christine? She didn't intend to come back until she watched the video. Christine arrived at the sparse, minimalist studio in a red top, unflappable, collected, seething. That video where she called Janelle pathetic and Kody fake grieving? That was my breaking point, she explained to the moderator. For years, I was labeled the problem, but Robyn lied. She repeatedly lied. She used her tears as weapons. Meri cried. Janelle solemnly nodded. And Christine gazed into the camera. Robyn, you tore this family apart with your compulsion to control Kody. And the worst part? It succeeded. Kody later strolled onto set, alone, tired, his curls tucked behind his ears, eyes red-rimmed. The moderator asked if he had watched the video. Kody nodded slowly. I denied it. I didn't want to watch it. But she lied. To me. To them. To everyone. The reunion concluded, but the aftermath was just beginning. TLC turned their attention elsewhere. No more Kody. No more Robyn. They introduced a new program, Sister Strong with Meri, Janelle, and Christine. Their lives after polygamy, their recovery, their reality. Every episode addressed their recovery, their kids, their business endeavors, and their happiness. Meri discovered love once more. Janelle started a nonprofit organization assisting women out of spiritual abuse. Christine, now David Woolley's wife, conducted retreats for survivors. Meanwhile, Robyn kept quiet. Then there was the suit. She filed against TLC for $3.5 million, citing defamation. She accused the tapes of being edited and malicious. Kody did the same. But TLC showed up prepared. Contracts. Emails. Internal memos that illustrated Robyn badgering producers, spinning stories, and even requesting Kody's children be taped only if they were positive. The court dismissed it out of the courtroom. Robyn collapsed on the witness stand. They don't get it. Christine manipulated my kids. They were brainwashed. The judge interrupted. Ma'am, your daughters are grown women. They testified honestly. That's not slander. That's fact. Kody sat quietly in the back of the courtroom, head in hands. After the trial, TLC broadcast a 2-hour Sister Strong Live special. Fans asked, do you think Robyn regrets what she did? Christine answered, I think she regrets getting caught. Then Robyn's last try at control, a live Instagram stream. Puffy-eyed. Crying. I was edited to be evil. TLC warped it. The other wives turned against me. Even my children. But the internet wasn't believing it. Until her daughters pushed back. A different account, The Truth from Inside, posted audio of Robyn preparing to cry for the camera. People eat that up, she had said in her voiceover. Aurora then posted her own clip. She flips when the cameras are on. I don't even recognize her anymore. Robyn's social media went silent. TLC eliminated her from all official cast bios. Weeks afterward, Kody was caught whispering to producers, not knowing his mic was open. She lied to me. I don't know who I married. And then the coup de grace. Robyn's last bet. Her book, The Sacred Heart. A memoir of betrayal, motherhood, and persecution. But the backlash was immediate. Hashtags number Sacred Lie trended. Advance readers were appalled. She accused Christine of spiritual sabotage, called Janelle money-hungry, said Meri emotionally abused her. Even her daughters. Then the voice messages. Uploading by mistake onto YouTube, Robyn unleashed her darkest thoughts. Threats against TLC. Blackmail. Cold, calculating voice. They better not phase me out. I held this show together. I sold those tears. TLC was on to other things. And what of the daughters? They were ascending. A 6-part special, Breaking the Pattern, starring Brianna and Aurora, was in the works. Their recovery path, with Christine, Janelle, and Meri leading them. The cycle had ended. The truth had spoken. And for the first time in over a decade, the Brown family, at least what remained of it, stood on solid ground. The final shot of Sister Strong showed the women laughing in the desert wind. Christine said, "Everything was lost." Janelle added, "But we're free now." And Meri finished, "At last, we're whole." The day after Sister Strong's dramatic conclusion, social media was not merely a buzz, it was ablaze. Robyn lied was trending everywhere. But what no one could have anticipated was what followed. A mysterious tweet from TLC, consisting of one line only, They were silent for too long. Now they speak. No pictures. No trailer. No names. Only a date. Friday, 8 p.m. The internet went into chaos. Forums speculated that it could be Kody's long hypothesized response. Others hoped that it was Christine's book announcement. But when the black screen dissolved to show 2 chairs and a bare studio sat by Aurora and Brianna Brown, world gasped. They remained silent for almost 15 seconds before Aurora whispered, "This isn't easy, but it's necessary." The special, Breaking the Pattern, opened on raw, handheld footage of the sisters paging through childhood diaries, dog-eared scripts from previous seasons, and family snapshots that had long since come down from the walls of Robyn's home. It wasn't a reveal. It was a reckoning. Aurora described, "Mom said never to trust them, that Christine was jealous, that Janelle was dangerous, that Meri was manipulative, and we believed it because we were kids." Brianna continued, her voice shaking. "But we didn't realize we were just pawns on her board. She wasn't keeping us safe, she was keeping her control." The admissions came in wave-slow at first, then unstoppable. They spoke of how Robyn rehearsed her confessionals with them the night before filming, how she coached them on what to say about the other wives, how she'd reward emotional compliance with praise and affection but punish dissent with isolation and guilt. "We were raised on manipulation," Brianna said, tears falling down her face. "But now, we're done." Robyn's final collapse. The voicemails that shattered everything. Robyn, still on the run, tried one final time to take back control. One evening, a 17-minute YouTube video appeared on her dead channel with the title My Side of the Story. It was dark. Robyn was gaunt, more ghostly than penitent. She started softly. "I don't recognize myself in their stories. I never meant to hurt anyone. I only wanted peace." But at the 11-minute point, a crack began. Her eyes narrowed, her voice deepened. "Christine poisoned them against me. I sacrificed everything for this family, and now they discard me like garbage? You want the truth? The truth is they were never thankful, never respectful, never faithful." It was no longer an apology. It was a lash-out. And before Robyn could delete the video, fans had already downloaded it. Hours later, another leak went up on Reddit and Twitter. Voicemails. Dozens of them. Robyn to Kody. "You let them walk all over me. I saved your show. I saved you. And now you're hiding in Flagstaff like a scared little boy?" Robyn to TLC. "You want drama? You'll get drama. But don't pretend I'm the villain when I am the story. I am the tears. You built this on my back." Robyn to Aurora. "If you speak one more word to Christine, you're not my daughter anymore. Do you understand? I brought you into the world. You owe me your loyalty." The world gasped. No longer just fans. National news sources picked up on the story. People, Entertainment Tonight, and the New York Times ran stories on the disintegration of Robyn Brown. Past TLC producers started talking to reporters anonymously. "She wasn't hard to get along with," one of them said. "She was calculating. She knew her tears earned her protection. And when that didn't cut it anymore, she played the guilt card. Then, the threats." Kody's last stand. The interview that ended it all. A week after that, Kody made a surprise 2020's exclusive appearance. He was gaunt, fatigued, like a man who had matured 10 years in months. When questioned about the voicemails, Kody didn't even dispute them. "I ignored the warning signs," he said quietly. "Christine told me. Meri did too, even Janelle. But I was so desperate to feel loved, I let Robyn rewrite my truth." He stopped, staring at the camera. "I lost everything for a woman who only ever wanted the spotlight." Kody then let the bombshell drop. "I'm divorcing her." The internet stood still. After 13 years, 5 children, and a worldwide franchise based on their partnership, Kody was leaving Robyn. The rise of the women, from silence to strength. As Robyn's world fell apart, Christine, Janelle, and Meri stood taller than ever. Christine wrote a memoir, From Obedience to Voice, which went to number 2 on the New York Times bestsellers list on debut. Janelle's nonprofit, Reclaiming Roots, got a $2 million grant from a national women's fund. Meri's retreat facility in Utah, Haven Rise, opened to full capacity providing programs for women exiting high-control faith groups. And then Sister Strong Season 3. In a daring gambit, TLC framed the new season in terms of reclamation. Every episode would feature one of the women reclaiming something that had been taken from her. Meri standing up to the church that had excommunicated her. Janelle buying property for the first time, in her name, herself. Christine performing the wedding of a former polygamist survivor now identifying as queer. A new generation speaks. But the most poignant moment of Season 3 was the episode called The Daughters Speak. Aurora, Brianna, Savannah, Aspen, and Mykelti all met together in one place with no cameras or production scripts. Just microphones and sheer emotion. Savannah explained, "We weren't collateral damage. We were witnesses. We saw everything." Mykelti continued, "And now, we're done being quiet." Their point was made. The next generation would not be born into the lies. Robyn's final try the book that burned it all down. Kody's announcement of divorce had already exploded the remaining illusions. But for Robyn, public rejection was too much to accept. She disappeared once more from the limelight, this time not only from lenses, but allegedly from her own family as well. Neighbors said the one-time busy Flagstaff home now stood in haunting quiet. Mail accumulated on the porch. The blinds always remained shut. One porch light burned every evening like a quiet beacon that something within was still clinging on. Then came the news no one saw coming. Robyn Brown was releasing a memoir. Entitled, Sanctified, My Truth, My Tears, My Family, the press release promised that the book would uncover untold spiritual wisdom, misunderstood intentions, and the heartbreak of being misrepresented. The response was swift and savage. Christine tweeted, "There's a difference between sharing your truth and rewriting history." Janelle shared a photo of a bonfire with the caption, "We don't need fiction. We already live the facts." Nevertheless, the publisher held its ground. One of the country's largest Christian imprints, which specializes in faith-based memoirs, justified the move by stating Robyn was entitled to present her side. The publication date was scheduled. Pre-orders began. And then, the first chapter leaked. It was all critics feared and worse. Robyn framed herself as a martyr, the beleaguered savior of a disintegrating family. She asserted that Christine had weaponized kindness. Janelle was emotionally frigid, and Meri was a spiritual weak link. She explained Kody divorced her because he couldn't handle a real woman with real faith. But the most incendiary portion came mid-document. Robyn confessed that she bullied Kody into divorcing Meri legally so she could be his one and only legal wife in the name of protecting the children. "I told him it was God's will," she said. "But really, it was mine. I was tired of sharing." That sentence alone made headlines. It wasn't just readers who were outraged, it was bookstores. In 48 hours, 5 big retailers withdrew the title. The publisher put a hold on shipments. The book became poisonous. And then, the coup de grace. Robyn's ghostwriter speaks. The ghostwriter Robyn had contracted came forward under a pen name, but with confirmed documents. In an interview with Rolling Stone, the ghostwriter told, "Robyn did not desire truth. Robyn desired revenge. Whenever I would attempt to balance a paragraph, she'd shriek, 'No, make them feel sorry for me.' She sought to weaponize her victimhood." She went on, "There were moments she'd send me crying voice memos. And 5 minutes later, there was another one giggling about how fans would eat this up. It was emotional manipulation in the moment. The brown women respond and fans rally." TLC moved rapidly to distance itself. They issued a second official statement. Robyn Brown's memoir does not represent the values of our network or the facts verified by several independent sources. And, just like that, Robyn Brown was completely erased from the franchise. Meanwhile, the Brown women leaned in. Not to attack but to educate. In a now viral sit-down interview with Oprah, Christine, Janelle, and Meri sat together. The tension was thick with grace and quiet strength. "We don't hate Robyn," Janelle replied. "We pity her." Meri nodded. She was so terrified of being average that she killed what could have been extraordinary. Christine filled in, "You can't construct love on a platform of fear." That line was the quote of the year. Oprah concluded the segment weeping, saying, "This isn't just about polygamy. This is about freedom." Kody's vanishing act and his elusive new life. Kody, now completely off the grid, was spotted on a fuzzy security cam photo shopping for groceries in Prescott Valley. He appeared weathered, alone. Sources said he'd retreated to a small cabin on the periphery of Arizona's wilderness. No Wi-Fi, no television, no social media. He made one statement in a lawyer. "I'm not the man I was. I hope someday I'll be better. But for now, I need to be silent." Rumors abounded that several of his older children had attempted to reach out to him. Some were dismissed. Others were blocked. The agony of the past dug a canyon too vast to fill, at least currently. The legacy of the wives creating something greater than themselves. Now that Robyn and Kody were gone, the Sister Wives world changed altogether. Christine's activism took her to Capitol Hill, where she spoke out to Congress regarding emotional abuse in high-control relationships. Her gentle, fiery voice reverberated through the halls, causing even cynics within the political arena to be visibly shaken. Meri's retreat program grew nationwide, holding retreats in Utah, Colorado, and even Canada. Her tale of survival and reconstruction became a source of hope for thousands. Janelle wrote a best-selling book, Beyond the Tent: Financial Freedom After Polygamy, where she not only told her own story but presented actual tools for women stuck in complicated family and financial structures. She spoke at financial empowerment conferences throughout the nation. Together, the women created a foundation called Strong Roots, a support center for individuals who were fleeing fundamentalist religions and patriarchal family systems. It provided housing, therapy, education, and legal services. Their motto? Where truth begins and freedom grows. The camera turns off for good. TLC confirmed that Sister Strong would come to a close after Season 4, not due to cancellation, but by design. The women desired closure. On their terms. The 4th season would track the final phases of their healing process. Meri having new love. Janelle reunited with her grown children. Christine becoming a grandma once more and hosting a multi-generational healing retreat in Sedona. The very last scene was shot without a script. The 3 women, all by themselves, sitting on the porch of Meri's retreat, drinking coffee as the sun came up. Christine gazed out and stated, "You know what's ironic? We began this show as wives, but today, we're women." And the screen went dark. The women's legacy: what happened after the cameras. When the cameras shut down, the commotion didn't rate. But for the first time in generations, it wasn't pandemonium that trailed behind the brown women, it was respectful admiration. A shift in culture. A communal hesitation where the world paused to look at the ruin of polygamy, patriarchal dominance, and showy family values, and decided to believe in a different narrative. The Sister Wives phenomenon might be over, but what Christine, Janelle, and Meri created continued to have waves throughout, well beyond reality television. Christine, the voice that moved a generation. Christine had transcended being a television personality; she was a movement. Her TED Talk, Loving Loud, Healing After Hidden Abuse, accumulated more than 18 million views in the first month. In it, she explained the wounds that polygamy etched into her confidence in silence. The strength of finally uttering, "No more." She did not speak with a flame of anger. She spoke with a flame of clarity and that left her unstoppable. By the year's end, Christine had aligned with several domestic violence agencies, started a scholarship fund for survivors' children, and was nominated for Time's Most Influential Women list. Her romance with David Woolley became the epitome of healing, not perfection, but still love that was quiet and stable, demanding nothing from her except honesty. They were not a television couple. They were an actual couple, and the world adored them for it. Janelle, the phoenix of financial freedom. Janelle, always the quiet warrior, utilized her agony to empower herself. Her own nonprofit, Rise Up Strong, spread to 14 states. It served more than 1,200 women in a single year, providing free consultations with lawyers, housing placement, and small business grants. But her second book is what really rocked the culture. Entitled Polygamy's Price Tag: The Economics of Emotional Servitude, the book was part memoir, part exposé. She dissected precisely how the finances of the Brown family were manipulated in order to keep the women in their place. Joint debt, joint titles, and fictive family businesses kept her, Christine, and Meri financially trapped while Robyn thrived. The book was a New York Times #1 bestseller for 9 weeks in a row. In each of her interviews, Janelle was calm but resolute. We were never partners. We were pawns. But not anymore. Meri, the matriarch who remade the ending. Of all the women, Meri's change may have been the subtlest, but it was the most dramatic. She opened her second retreat center, this one in Oregon, by a lake she told us reminded her of the woman she was before the show ever started. She began offering reclamation weekends and bringing women from all across the country to write new endings to their ancient stories. During one such retreat, a woman leaned over at a group session and whispered, "I used to be you." Meri grasped her hand and responded, "Number, you were her, but you're finding you." The line went viral. Meri later signed a deal with Netflix to produce a limited series based on her memoir, The First Wife. She required no actors portraying her younger self. The show would instead be narrated in voiceover, accompanied by documentary-style segments and authentic photographs from her private archive. She explained to Variety, "I want people to experience the truth not through performance, but through the rawness of what it meant to be silent too long." Robyn Brown, The Vanishing Act. And what about Robyn? Following the book fiasco, she went completely dark. No interviews, no sightings, no social media. Her name trended again only once when TMZ broke the news that she'd legally changed her last name and relocated to a small town just outside of Boise, Idaho. There, she reportedly resides under an assumed name, out of the public eye, by herself. Sources said she tried to get back in touch with her children, but only 2 replied. The others never returned a call. There would be no closing declaration, no apology, no confession. Robyn just disappeared. And maybe that, ultimately, was the most appropriate ending to a tale founded on illusions. The fans and the cultural reckoning. The audience, once passive watchers of the Sister Wives drama, became advocates themselves. Internet forums that previously speculated about who would be the next to leave, Kody evolved into support groups for individuals in actual life toxic relationships. TikTok counselors referenced Christine's speeches. Influencers referenced Janelle's financial insights. Women all over the world tattooed the declaration. We were wives. Now we are women. The legacy was obvious. It was never about television. It was about a mirror. And for millions, it was the bravery to pursue freedom no matter what that meant in terms of walking alone initially. 1 year later, a quiet reunion. It wasn't photographed, it wasn't scripted, it wasn't posted online. But a year after the series finale of Sister Strong, a fan took an unposed photo in Sedona. Christine, Meri, and Janelle on the patio of a cafe. No makeup, no cameras, just coffee cups and open laughter. They appeared free. The photo was the most shared photo on Reddit that week. No caption, just 3 women alive. Final words, Christine's journal entry. We waited so long to be picked. By a man. By a system. By a world that defined love as sacrifice. But true love doesn't clip your wings. It lets you fly, and it flies along with you. We spoke the truth. We endured the lie. And now, we live. This family's drama is far from over, so smash like if you're number Team Wives, subscribe for the next explosive update, and drop a comment below. Who do you think will win? Stay shady, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next scandal. Behind TLC Sister Wives out.